Okay, I'm going to call pages 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 all together. That will be Carrier versus Affinity, Wren versus Lifestyle, Tom, Sharapov versus Affinity, and Martinez versus Affinity. And let's take appearances in the courtroom first, and then anyone who's on the phone.
Good morning, Your Honor. Colby Williams, bar number 5549 on behalf of the Carriers.
Thank you.
Merkovich, bar number 11662, Campbell Williams, also on behalf of the Carrier plaintiffs.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Eric Pepperman, 11679, from Kemp Jones, on behalf of the plaintiffs in Wren, Sharapov, and Martinez.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mike Hetey, bar number 5668, on behalf of the real water defendant entities.
Thank you. And I have these down for Rule 16 conferences. There was a motion to consolidate. I did sign yesterday 2 orders, stipulated orders with regard to coordinating the cases for pretrial discovery and designating the matter as complex and appointing a special master. I did see this morning a 3rd stipulation and order in the order inbox that I have not yet signed because I didn't get a chance to review it before court started. So with that being said, who's our primary spokesperson today?
Your Honor, I don't know that I'm the primary spokesperson, but I can answer the point that you raised at the end with respect to the 3rd stipulation. This is Colby Williams. We submitted that in the Carrier case. It's identical except for the caption and being specific to our case. It is specific to the special master stipulation that you signed yesterday. The parties think that speaking for the plaintiffs, we thought it was important to have those entered individually in each of the cases, not just in front of Your Honor, but in the other cases pending before the other judges. So when you see it, you'll note that it's very similar, if not identical, to the other one. So that's the 3rd stipulation that was submitted. Beyond that, if Mr. Pepperman wants to take the lead because he's got the bulk of the cases, I'm fine with that, or I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have for us.
Thank you. Mr. Pepperman?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just add that I think the stipulations and orders that you signed yesterday, and consistent with the Carrier's similar stipulation, I think that resolves everything this morning. We've stipulated to coordinate the cases for pretrial discovery purposes before Your Honor in the lead case, which is the Wren case, for all the common issues. We've agreed to, and you ordered to appoint Mr. Hale as special master, so he'll oversee the discovery. As just kind of a belt suspenders issue, we're submitting the stipulation to appoint Mr. Hale as special master in every individual case, just so there's no question about his authority and propriety to rule in each case. Any disputes on the common issues relating to Mr. Hale's findings or orders will be appealed to this court. Any individual case-specific matters would be taken up by the judges who are currently assigned to individual cases. So I think Mr. Floyd will set in a meeting with him, and he can set all the discovery schedules and all the discovery-related orders that I think Your Honor might otherwise consider at the Rule 16 conference.
Right. So I have set Rule 16 conferences today, probably prematurely, but because not every case has an answer, I do see that Carrier has no answer yet, but the other 4 cases do have answers. So
Okay.
I assume we'll get. Go ahead, please.
Mike Hetey for the defense. Carrier has been answered, I believe.
It has been answered?
Yes, Your Honor, it has.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you guys have not had yet a chance to do a joint case conference report?
Right. Speaking for the Carrier case, we've submitted our initial disclosures. I believe Mr. Hetty's going to be getting us his shortly. We haven't met, other than getting these issues with the special master and the coordination worked out, we haven't sat down individually in our case to talk about the specifics, but I think that'll be at least in part taken care of when we sit down with Special Master Hale, who's going to set the discovery schedule and related deadlines pertaining to that.
Thank you. Mr. Pepperman, do you have anything to add on that?
I don't, Your Honor. That's all correct.
Okay. So
Yep.
a couple of ground rules for everyone. There is another case out there that I've granted, it's a pro per plaintiff that I've granted form of paupers, so that, just to let you know, it got filed here randomly. And when the special master is involved, I retain the right to consult with the special master if necessary. If I talk to him, he may initiate contact to me. If I have questions, I can initiate contact to him. If I talk to him, I do a minute order so that you will know what we said and what the conversation was. I don't consider that ex parte in this court, especially on a business court case. So if there's any objection to that, let me know now.
I think we accounted for that in the stipulation, Your Honor, contemplating that that was your practice, and we certainly have no objection to it.
Mr. Hetey, any objection?
No, Mike Hetey for the Real Water Parties. No objection to that. And I agree with plaintiff counsel that I believe we have that accounted for. And to on the point of exchanging documents, from the defense perspective, because we had already been in communication with plaintiff counsel who have the bulk of all of these cases, our contemplation was that we would get Mr. Hale appointed, we would have a document depository established, and then everything would be deposited in there in whatever format will be required. So we have not produced data yet, but it is on deck for production once we meet with Special Master Hale.
Good enough. So then I'll go ahead and vacate the Rule 16 conferences for today, and the case will then proceed in accordance with your stipulations. I will review and sign the last stipulation today.
Great.
Is there anything else to take up today?
Your Honor, just to make you aware and consistent with what we've represented today, the stipulation you signed yesterday with respect to Mr. Hale was in the Wren case. We'll also be submitting separate stipulations to appoint Mr. Hale, the Martinez and Sheriff Pond cases, which are also important.
Very good. All right, guys.
All right.
Nice to have people back in the courtroom, but I promise, Mr. Hetey, it doesn't disadvantage you in any way.
Well, I appreciate that. I saw the Blue Jeans link, and I didn't realize until the last minute everybody was showing up. So at some point, we'll all be present together.
Good enough. Stay
Thank
safe
you.
and healthy, all of you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks, everyone.